If you've been watching movies or television shows in the last 20 years, odds are you've seen my next guest in something. His television credits include Dragnet, Quantum Leap, Golden Girls, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Chicago Hope, Star Trek Voyager, and Grounded for Life. His film credits include Glory, Bridesmaids, Casino, Prelude to a Kiss, and Halloween 2. But today we're focused on the character that was an admirer of the pet rock, inventor of the jump to conclusions mat, and poster boy for Valium in the office, Tom Smykowski. This is a role that Richard Riehle played with hilarious energy in the cult film Office Space. I know this is going to be a great conversation because Richard is a genuinely nice and funny guy, but he also has people skills. He's good at dealing with people. Hey, Richard.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you, sir?
Real good, thank you.
This is a movie that came out in 1999, yet today its popularity is still sky high. I mean, you still see people wearing the T-shirts with the red stapler on it, coffee mugs with the Initech logo on it, and so many people can quote lines from the movie, including yours. What was it like to be part of a film like that, and are there experiences that you have today with fans as a result of it?
Yeah, it was absolutely amazing to be part of it. Mike Judge, who wrote and directed it, was incredible. We had a kind of a long audition process, and then when he finally selected the group that he wanted to do the movie with, he called us up and he said, look, we're going to go down to Austin. It's my hometown. We won't have a lot of suits looking over our shoulders. We're going to work hard, but we're going to have a good time. And he would take us at the end of a 14-hour day, he'd take us to one of the clubs where his band used to play, or to a restaurant or a rib joint that he liked, and it really was a like summer camp in Austin doing the movie. It was most enjoyable, and it was kind of remarkable that people are still to this day responding to it. There was a sort of a gap. It was very funny. It came out and played like about a week in the theaters and disappeared, and we felt okay about that. I think the cast, because we had such a good time doing it, and we felt really good about our work. And if that's what became of it, that's great. But then all of a sudden, 6 months later, people are stopping me on the street and quoting stuff from the movie. And I'm going, what happened here?
Yeah.
And evidently it had just broke on cable and VHS, and people were discovering it that way.
That's like the biggest thing right now, that, you know, a studio or a cast knows that just because something lasts a certain amount of time, whether it be short or long in a theater, that's not the end of the story, because people can get the movie instantly through downloads or DVD or Blu-ray pretty quickly after the movie's out of the theaters, and there's still a whole nother audience to reach out there.
Oh, absolutely. I remember having one experience. A friend of mine took me to a cigar club in Beverly Hills that he belonged to. And we were about ready to go when the maitre d' said, oh, you're going to want to wait a couple of minutes because Sammy Hagar's coming in, and he always brings in all these beautiful women. So we did. We had another drink, and we waited, and here he comes in with this crowd of young ladies. So we get up ready to leave, and my buddy says, oh, I want to show you my humidor in the back here. It's right below Arnold Schwarzenegger. So we go back, look at his humidor, look at what he has in there, and we're about to leave, and two of the girls are coming in trying to find their way to the bathroom. And they stop and say, oh, my gosh, you were in Office Space, weren't you? And I said, yeah, could we have your autograph? I said, of course. And they said, well, and could you write your line about the stapler? And I went,
oh,
I
no.
really was in Office Space, honest to gosh. But that's my friend Stephen Root that was the stapler guy. But I'll still give you my autograph.
Yeah.
I said, of course he wants your autograph. And could you write your line about the stapler? So, yeah.
So what did you end up doing?
I said, if you tell me the line about the stapler, I'll write it.
Yeah, again, tell me what my friend Stephen Root said, and I'll write it down. Oh, that's too funny. Well, typically you don't ever see this sort of thing coming. Did anyone have a sense that was, you know, either behind the scenes or with you in the cast, that the movie might reach kind of a cult status?
No, not really. I mean, everybody just loved the script. They thought it was hilariously funny. They were excited about working with Mike on a live action thing, and some of the people that knew him better, like Steven, would kind of tweak him a little bit about he was directing us as if we were cartoon characters. But it was wonderful because he did his character the first day, so it gave us a sense of what he was going for in the movie.
Aha, there you go.
And it was great. And we had such a good time that he kept the set really alive and exciting, and everybody was enjoying themselves. so in many ways, that's the best you can ask for on a movie. And by the end of the shoot, we all felt good about what we had done. You know, you're lucky if you get that sometimes in a movie. But I don't think anybody had any premonitions that it was going to turn out to be sort of the cult classic it's turned into.
How did everything come about as far as you finding out about the movie and getting the role?
Well, my agent saw it on the breakdown that they were going to do this movie and submitted me. And the first audition, I went in and I read both for Tom Smykowski and the psychiatrist. And then on the callback, I again read for both. And then the third time I came in, I read just for Tom Smykowski. So, like I said, Mike spent a lot of time making sure he had the right mix of people that were going to go down, you know, to Austin for 29 days and make a movie.
Well, Tom is a very unique character in this movie because he's not a real happy man, but yet he's funny to us.
Oh, well,
and,
sometimes that's the case.
And in the end, though, he ends up pretty darn happy. I mean, he's in a wheelchair, but he's happy, and I guess it's because that's better than working at Initech.
Exactly. And, you know, and that insecurity of what that Initech always has.
That's right.
You know, but like he says to Ron Livingston's character, you know, if you hang around long enough, you'll have good luck, like me in the traffic accident.
Yeah, and I got to think that this is just one of those characters that was just a blast to play. How fun was it to play Tom Smykowski?
It was so much fun because he was so insecure that he could go any direction in a flash of a second, depending upon what kind of impetus the other people were pushing him. Whether he had a great idea or whether it was a birthday party, why are they doing this? Or whether he thinks he got information about the fact there are going to be layoffs, whether he's fighting for his job with the two Bobs. I mean, every moment it seems somebody's impinging upon him, and he's responding in any number of ways.
There's so many memorable scenes with you, but I really do like that scene with the two Bobs.
Oh, my gosh. That was fun. That was so much fun. I was the guinea pig for the two Bobs.
Yeah.
I was the first one. And so when John and Paul came in, they said to Mike, well, how about if we improvise a little bit? And so we did it for about 40 minutes, all sorts of various ways, getting into the scene, and then doing the scene finally as Mike had written it. And it was so funny. Unfortunately, they don't have some of the outtakes, but they were absolutely hilarious. Those two guys were frightening in the mind meld they had.
Yeah, I mean, I just assumed that there were probably lots of scenes that you guys did that you had to run through a few times without laughing before you...
Oh, exactly. We ruined many takes, I think, giggling.
Used a lot of film.
Yeah, unfortunately, yes. And that was the day of film. It was still film then and not digital.
Yeah, not digital, that's right. You're a great character actor, and in this film you're surrounded by character actors, really. I mean, you've got Lumbergh, the two Bobs, you've got Stephen Root as Milton, and this had to feel like a playground experience on the set, I would think.
Well, it did, and that was the hard thing was sort of, it was like wrangling cats. I mean, getting everybody, focused on one thing.
Well, Mike Judge is really specialized in cult production, whether it be the big screen or the small screen. You've already talked a little bit about the environment on the set. Can you talk a little bit more about just what it was like working with Mike?
Well, he was wonderful in that he was really open to anybody's input, how they felt about the character, how they felt about the scene. But at the same time, in the end, I don't think we deviated much at all from the script that he had written. And I don't know whether that comes from writing for animations, because you have to be very specific because it takes so long to develop, or maybe that's just Mike's mindset.
I don't know,
but he's very specific about what he wants, and he's able to explain and or show it, and that's wonderful for a director.
Yeah, it is. I mean, anytime you have that kind of attention to detail, you're going to come out okay, I think.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And he's fun. The set was constantly a place where everybody not only felt secure and comfortable and able to do whatever they wanted in exploration of the scene and the character, but he kept it always very light, enjoyable place to be. You look forward to come to work every day.
Now, isn't that interesting, though? I mean, basically, you're getting up and looking forward to going to work to be in an environment where you have to pretend like you're not enjoying going to work.
Exactly. I didn't think of it. It's wonderful, yeah.
Well, I have a stupid question to ask, but it's just for entertainment value.
Sure.
Do you own a Jump to Conclusions, Matt? And if you had one, what would your options be today?
I'm not sure where the actual one went, but But I did another little independent film about 4 or 5 years later, and the crew made a jump to conclusions
Oh, really?
on the film and gave it to me.
Oh,
so I
awesome.
have that hanging in my bedroom.
That's one of those things that, if you were to go to an autograph convention, someone might show up with and have you sign.
I've never thought about that.
In a lot of ways, my introduction didn't do you all the justice you deserve. I mean, if you look at your resume, you have an amazing, highly respectable career in acting. But this also includes involvement in theater, and that even involves Broadway. And I understand your love of theater is still very strong today. Can you talk a little bit about your experience in that?
Well, absolutely. I mean, I started out in theater. I probably spent 20 years doing regional theater all around the country, and that was very exciting. I got to do a lot of really wonderful roles and met an incredible group of people. One of them was Emily Mann, who was directing a play I was doing in Seattle, and a couple of years later she called me and she said, this play I wrote, Execution of Justice, is being done on Broadway. I'd like you to be a part of it. If you would come out and audition, I think that'd be a possibility. So I flew out to New York, and I auditioned for the producers, and I got cast in it. It was a wonderful play, and it was an incredible group of people. And based on that, I stayed in New York for about 10 years doing Broadway, off-Broadway, and really that's where my film career got established, because while I was in New York, I was cast in Glory. And, and so when Glory opened, I came out to Los Angeles, and it got me in a few doors to audition, which ended up with me doing the NBC series Ferris Bueller. The next year, I ended up doing some films, which was great. I did Free Willy and Of Mice and Men, and that led to The Fugitive, and suddenly, I was kind of in Los Angeles doing stuff when this playwright that I worked with in New York had a play that a bunch of guys wanted to produce in Los Angeles, and he suggested that they try and find me for a role in it, and sure enough, I ended up doing this play called Distant Fires here in Los Angeles with Sam Jackson and D.B. Sweeney and Michael T. Williamson, and it was an incredible experience because all these guys came from the New York theater scene, and so that was a great experience. And then about 5 years after that, Kevin Spacey was doing Iceman Cometh on Broadway, and I was able to get an audition for that here and was selected to go and do that play, which was a remarkable experience to work on. Kevin put together an incredible cast to work on that. I mean, lots of faces that you would certainly recognize now that were just kind of getting established in film and TV. Paul Giamatti and
that's good.
Michael Emerson, and it was an amazing group of people to be with. So that whetted my appetite again for doing theater. So I did the O'Neill Festival, and I did Williamstown another summer during hiatuses, and then ended up going back on Broadway about 3 years later to do Arthur Miller's first play, and Arthur Miller was there for the rehearsals, a play called The Man Who Had All the Luck. It was wonderful to meet him and to listen to his ideas about this play that he wrote as a 23-year-old.
Wow. Yeah, you've got a lot of fantastic cast members that you've been able to perform with on stage as well. I think Guinness needs to come to your Internet Movie Database page, because I think if they did, you would set the record for the most projects labeled in production. You're still a pretty busy guy. What can we look forward to seeing you in here in the future?
Well, the next movie that's coming out is Harold and Kumar 3 in 3D, and I think that's in November, and I play Santa Claus in that one.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, so that's a treat. And then there's I just finished shooting Leatherface 3D, which is a reboot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah.
And then I think that's going to be a very exciting film.
You don't play Santa Claus in that one, I would.
I don't. I play Lawyer Farnsworth.
Right.
But I survived to the end, which is quite an accomplishment in one of those movies.
Well, yeah. I mean, anything labeled massacre, if you last till the end, that's a pretty good deal.
Exactly. And then I think right now they're getting ready to show it at a series of drive-ins in Texas, but it's a comedy horror anthology called Chillerama, which we shot at a working drive-in here in Los Angeles. It was a 4-screen drive-in, and 3 of them had their regular shows going on, and we were in the fourth quadrant of the drive-in, I guess.
Well, we definitely look forward to those, and we're going to actually put your link on Internet Movie Database on our webpage so people can see you in many things, and it's been a joy talking to you, Richard, and
Oh, you too, Scott.
I appreciate you being on the show, and folks, if you haven't seen Office Space, I mean, you're a little late, but see it. I mean, I tell you, I've seen it so many times, and Richard's character still makes me laugh today, so we're going to put a link of his Internet Movie Database up on the site so you can see other things that he's in along with Office Space. And Richard, thanks so much for being on the show today. I really appreciate your time.
Oh, thank you very much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg again. I just wanted to make sure you knew that we did start at the usual time this morning. Yeah, it isn't a half day or anything like that. So if you could just go ahead and get here as soon as possible, that would be terrific. Yeah, hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Hi, it's Bill Lumberg. Yeah, it's me again. I was away from my desk for a minute, just checking in case you called while I was gone.
Hello?
Hi, this is Richard Riehle, and I play Tom Smykowski in the movie Office Space.
Huh?
Look, I tell you, you have to listen to the Critic Show. Can't you understand that? It's good to listen to the Critic Show.
But
What the hell is wrong with you people?